Hi everyone. So in this video we will be discussing about Spring Boot application. So what is Spring Boot? Spring Boot is basically a sub-project developed by the developers of Spring Framework, and we can use Spring Boot to create standalone production grade application and with minimum configuration required. Also, if you're looking to build microservices in future, then Spring Boots are really good candidates for building them. So let's get started. Instead of creating a blank Java project, what we will do here is we will go to start.spring.io and we will give some information, and it will provide us with a zip file that we can import into our Eclipse as a Maven project. So let's get started. Project would be selected as a Maven, language Java. Spring Boot version 2.1.9 is the current recommended version from Spring, and project metadata. So the group is the package, the start of the package name. So I'll call it com.liontech consulting, and then for the artifact, so group plus the artifact will form the complete package name. So I'll call it Spring Boot demo. Okay, so for the options, you can see the package name is created using the group name plus the artifact, and packaging, let's go with the jar packaging and the Java version 11 in case we want to use some Java 11 features. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Yes, for the dependencies. So now when we're creating an application, Spring Boot application, we need to provide some dependencies. By default, no dependencies are selected. So our plan here is that our web application will have some endpoints, it will have some repository, there will be some services, and then we'll have some DB operations, so we'll need some persistence API as well, and we may also need some Spring security if you want to implement security features, and if you want to have different roles for different users. But let's start with the very basic. So the first thing we want is the Spring Web to build any RESTful applications. So we'll include the Spring Web here. Next we will want a lightweight Java SQL engine along with that, and then we need an API. So we'll go with a Java Persistence API, JPA. And for web applications, we also need Jersey to provide the JAX RS APIs. So I think these 4 dependencies are good enough for now. So basically what will happen when I click generate this button here, this will give me a zip file which will contain a pom.xml, and that pom.xml will contain all these 4 libraries, I mean the reference to these 4 libraries. And once we import this into our Eclipse, those jars, the dependencies will be downloaded to the machine, right? And in future, if we want to add more dependencies, we will update our pom.xml. So we'll click generate, and then as soon as you click generate, you'll have a Spring Boot demo.zip downloaded. I already have it downloaded, so we'll go to the Eclipse and then we will import this project. So let's go here. Okay, so we'll start by importing a project that we just downloaded. So I've already downloaded the project and I have also unzipped it. So I'll go to import and Maven, existing Maven projects, and then we'll need to give it the directory where we have unzipped the project. So in my machine, that is under Spring Boot tutorial, Spring Boot demo, and that's the files. As soon as I select, it will find the pom.xml which has all the dependencies that we selected. So that's all good. Add projects to the working set. I have created a working set that I want this project to be a part of. So I'll click finish, and then once we click finish, you'll see it says importing Maven projects 9%. So it is importing the projects as well as it will download the dependencies. So under Maven dependencies are all the dependencies that I listed, Jersey, right? And then you can say HK2 for the database, Jersey, Spring Boot. These are by default downloaded with Spring Boot. And then we'll also have Spring Web MVC, right? So all of these dependencies are downloaded for me. And then we have JRE 11. We selected we want to go with Java 11. So we have the Java core libraries downloaded for us. So project is all set up and ready to go. So we'll see how the project is structured. So under resources, we do have application properties. Probably it is, yes, it is empty. We don't have any properties right now. And under the source main Java, we only have one package, Comline Tech Consulting Spring Boot demo, and then we have this Spring Boot demo application.java. So the annotation Spring Boot application is the starting point of a Spring Boot application, and we have a public static void main. This is a traditional way of starting Java application, and this is how also Spring Boot applications start, right? So as soon as I click start, we will see the logs on the console and application would start, and we'll be able to access the application on the browser. So let's click run, and we'll start seeing the logs on the terminal. So it is starting the application on Lighting Consulting, that's the machine name. And let's see, so started Spring Boot application. So the application is up and running now. By default, the application would go to port 8080, right? So if I open a browser and go to port 8080, I may not be able to see anything because I have not configured any pages, but the application is there and listening. So this is coming from the application now. White label error page. This application has no explicit mapping for error, so the application want to render an error page, but I have not given a mapping for /error. So we are seeing this page as a fallback, but this is this is a proof that our Spring Boot application is up and running. If I stop the server, which I just did, and I refresh this page, I won't see this error. Instead, I would see that page cannot be found, site can't be reached, right? So you are able to start the Spring Boot application properly. That's why we were seeing the error fallback page from the Spring Boot application. So now let's get more into it, right? Let's start doing some controllers so we can actually see some meaningful response from our application. But before we jump into that, I want to quickly go over the pom.xml that Spring Starter generated for us. So we'll quickly go over that, and then we will start with adding some services into the application. So the 4 dependencies that we selected, these are here, right? So we selected the web packages, we did JPA and Jersey, and then we wanted the database as well as a part of our application. And this is the build plugin that we need to build Maven applications. We selected Java version 11, and these are the artifact ID and the group ID for my Spring Boot application, right? Pretty standard. If you have worked with the Maven applications before, this is no brainer for you, right? And then you can also see dependencies from a dependency tab, which will tell us what dependencies are imported for this project.